Hello, it's Victoria, guys. How are you? Victoria from VictoriaParham.com, motivational life coach. It is a beautiful, beautiful 69 degrees here in the beautiful state of Virginia. I'm on here this morning to talk to you all as a follow-up to the post I did this morning on forgiveness. This is a very popular topic. It's also a very emotional, an emotional filled topic because it's filled with so much emotion. And the truth is, it's depending on where you are in your life, forgiveness can be extremely difficult. It really depends on where you are in your life. So as a younger woman, probably in my 20s and maybe even into my 30s, I was a work in progress in terms of forgiveness and forgiving people and understanding what it truly meant to forgive. And I know that, there are some people that say, I'll forgive, but, I won't forget. But forgiveness is deep, man. It's deep. It is really, truly an internal soul-searching journey. That's the best way I know how to authentically describe it. Like I said, in my 20s and in my 30s, it was extremely difficult. I didn't understand it. I didn't even know where to begin. I began in terms of how to forgive people, how to forgive myself, and it was overwhelming. So rather than to deal with forgiveness, I would just kind of shrug it off and just go about my way. But as I've gotten older, especially when I hit my 40s and late 40s, and now, I'm in my 50s, I have truly come to understand so much better the significance of forgiveness. And forgiveness has absolutely nothing to do with anyone else. It is not other people's responsibility to deal with or to handle or to manage or to figure out how you need to forgive. This is all about you. It really, truly, if there has ever been a time where there is something that is really a journey that's all about you, forgiveness is one of those journeys where it is all about you. And it's not an easy journey. It really takes you going within yourself, and you may have to go through some years. You may have to go in to yourself, and you're going to have to dig real deep through all of that stuff, all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the disappointment, all of that stuff that you've been logging around for so many years. You've got to go through all of that stuff. You've got to dissect it, and you've got to revisit those things. And it's hard. It's hard. I'm not going to even sit here and lie to you. You can pray, and prayer is good. As a matter of fact, you should pray. You should pray before you go and start examining yourself. and pray while you're examining yourself, and pray when you come out with the victory, because depending on how much stuff you have in there to visit, it can be a grueling task, and it's not an overnight journey. It took me a very, very long time, and I'm kind of joking about it, but it's real talk, serious. And if this is something that you're interested in exploring, you really have to have a made-up mind that you're going to see it from the beginning to the end. If you really want to get to a place within yourself where you are liberated. I mean, truly, truly, truly liberated. And so there are some steps, and I'm going to be doing a workshop in a couple of months on forgiveness. It's going to be kind of an introductory workshop. So once we get that together and we get ready to launch it, I certainly will be placing it here on all of my social media portals to let you guys know when I'll be offering that workshop. It will be online, so you certainly will be able to attend. It's going to be kind of limited in terms of the number of attendees, but we're going to run a couple of those workshops. And the reason I'm keeping that workshop kind of small is because I want it to be somewhat of an intimate session, because we are going to allow space for people to talk. And so if it's too big, it's just not going to be enough time, nor will it be personable enough for people to really feel that they're in a space where they can open up and share. And people really understand and can give feedback. So I'm going to kind of keep it small. So I'll keep you guys abreast on that. But back to forgiveness. It is a journey. It is not other people's responsibility to figure out how you should forgive and who you should forgive. It really is it's your bag of luggage, and you've got to know what to take out. You've got to know what to leave in. You've got to know what you can do without. Those are things that you're going to have to go through, and it's not an easy process, but it is possible to do it. You're never too young to take that journey, and you certainly are never too old to take that journey. If you're in relationships, and so many relationships break up due to the individuals involved being unable to forgive the other. And my wake-up moment was as I began to get older, honestly, and people that I knew began to pass away. That was kind of like my aha moment, my wake-up moment, where, I don't know, bells and whistles just went off internally, and I had a moment where I thought to myself, because it's also a spiritual journey. Spirituality is definitely a part of that journey. And for me in particular, spirituality was an integral part of that journey for me. And what I mean by that is I would go before God and ask God to forgive me of things that I've done, or things I didn't feel good about, or decisions I've made, and what have you. And I would expect that God would forgive me, because He is a God of forgiveness. But the lady that stepped on my toe, or mistreated me, or said something to me that I did not like, or said something that was inappropriate, or did something to me that really just did not mesh well with me, I couldn't forgive. But I was expecting God to forgive me. So it's that kind of pull and battle that you have to deal with when you're along that journey. Or maybe experiences that my husband and I experienced in our marriage, in our relationships. Friends who I grew up with, long-standing friends, who we may have had a falling out. And years down the road, I thought about that thing, and I contacted my friend, or friends, a couple of friends actually, and we revisited the reasoning behind why our friendships ended. And honestly, we couldn't even come to a conclusion. So relationships are significant. The bottom line is we're human beings, and we thrive and we grow off of relationships. Relationships mean everything to us. I don't care how independent you are, relationships are vital to our well-being. Good, solid relationships, good foundational relationships that are built on a good foundation, they're significantly important to us as human beings. And I can't even say just as women. Yes, they're important to women, but they're just as important to men, because we're all human beings at the end of the day. We need that human interaction, but we have to decide what type of human interaction we wish to have. And so in revisiting those broken relationships, what I found out and what my friends have found out is that, it was stupid. When we revisited what we stopped talking about years ago, it was over things that really had no meaning. There was nothing substantial. There was nothing that we could actually point to say this is the reason why we stopped talking so many years ago. And so all of those years that we stopped talking, we can't make those years up. We can only go from where we are and move forward. I want to challenge you all to take a look at your relationships. Take a look at your family dynamics. Families are at the very top of the list. There are more families who have stopped talking over the years than a little bit. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, think about the holidays and when you get together. You really see sides of people that you never ever thought you'd see. And so we don't want to wait till people pass away, people become terminally ill. You want to deal with those battles of unforgiveness now. Deal with it now so that you can be free, so that you can be liberated, so that you can live your very best life. Unforgiveness is like overloaded luggage. You've overpacked your suitcase with items that you really don't need, and you're lugging it around. You won't deal with the fact that you've overpacked, and that maybe you need to go in there and really take a look at what you've put in there. Ask yourself, do you really need it? Is this relationship really worth saving? Is this really at the bottom line at the end of the day? Forgiveness, and I want you to remember this, and I keep saying it, forgiveness is not about other people. It is about you. When it's all said and done and the rubber meets the road, will you be able to live with yourself if you don't step forward and be the bigger person and go to those people who your relationships have been broken or torn apart for whatever reason, and maybe you're the reason behind it, maybe you're not. Maybe you did something and yet you don't even know that you did something to cause the relationship to end. But be the bigger person. Apologize. Explore whether there's any way for the relationship to be restored. And even if it's not able to be restored, at least you can walk away with a peace of mind knowing that you've done everything within your power to clear the air, to free yourself so that you can move on in your life liberated, free, light. It's important. Again, unforgiveness is like overweighted luggage. You're lugging it around when at the end of the day, you can just really be the bigger person and deal with your unforgiveness. It could be with your mom, it could be with your dad, it could be with brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, friends, co-workers. It could be with anybody. The key is to deal with it. Is it going to feel good? No. Is it going to be an easy process? No. Do you have it within you to make it happen, to go through the journey? You absolutely do. The key is, do you want to be free? Do you want to live the rest of your life on this planet being burdened down with unforgiveness? Or do you want to liberate yourself so that you can move on in life? You can establish solid, flourishing relationships that are powerful, that are meaningful, with all of that overweighted luggage that you're lugging around. How can anyone else come into your life when you've got all that going on? So forgive. I don't know what other better way to say it. Just find a way. Make it a part of your mission to forgive people and move on. I hope I've said something to inspire you, to encourage you, and to motivate you to move forward in your forgiveness journey. That's all I've got. Until the next time, you guys remember to think big, dream big, and always allow your purpose in this lifetime to be your passion. I'll see you next time. Peace.